Namaskar. Hello, friends. Patience. It's the most critical virtue on spiritual path. Each one of us is made up of a particular combination of the three fundamental attributes, that is gunas, namely sattva, rajas, and tamas. The dynamics of the particular combination of gunas that one is made up of determines the course that one's life takes. It is also said that the relative dominance of gunas may change from time to time. In a sense, we can call it a blueprint that one's life invariably adheres to. Thus, whether one takes to a spiritual path, when and how intensely will be dependent on the particular combination of gunas and their interplay that rule the person's life. It is therefore clear that the progress of someone who has started walking the spiritual path will also be dependent on the dynamics of gunas from time to time. There is no point in a seeker torturing himself mentally for his apparent slow progress on the spiritual path. He should bear in mind that he can himself do precious little to hasten his progress. He has also to remember that the role of doing X or Y and the role of the amount done of X or Y action are not directly proportional to the amount of progress achieved. The simplest example is that of worship. If one engages in an elaborate worship of the home deities every day, but his mind is not there in the worship, that act would be of no real use in his spiritual pursuit. The best approach for a seeker is to keep doing what he naturally feels like doing, that suits his situation and temperament, rather than jumping from one prescription to another out of an anxiety to reach somewhere or achieve something. Such prescriptions can never be universal. There is a divine scheme for everyone. That is why patience is the most critical virtue for a spiritual seeker. Spiritual view of food, vegetarian versus non-vegetarian, etc. Man is one living being who eats not only to maintain his body and to get the energy required for day-to-day activities, but also to satisfy his taste bud cravings. In fact, most of us indeed eat a lot more than what our body really needs. When a person sets out on the spiritual path, one of the first things that happens to him is that his craving for good food reduces significantly. His view of food changes substantially. He starts looking at food as only a means to maintain the body and nothing more. Most people eating non-vegetarian food do so because they like the taste and the additional variety it provides on their dining table. As such, it is not as if there is any compulsion to have non-vegetarian food, because there is enough variety and taste available even in vegetarian food. A spiritual seeker is quite likely to give up non-vegetarian food because he develops a sensitivity to life and hence has that inner urge to not harm other living beings just to indulge his taste buds. The early humans may have been carnivorous out of a certain compulsion because agriculture had not yet come about. However, that does not necessarily mean that humans are basically carnivores. In fact, as a part of our evolution and development, we did invent agriculture and thus could adopt a diet based on grain, vegetables, and fruits. This probably indicates that vegetarianism was an advanced stage in human evolution. It is said that the truly carnivorous animals like lions and tigers have such strongly acidic juices in their stomach that even a nail made of iron can get dissolved in them. Human beings do not have as strong acids in their stomach, so it probably indicates that we are not really made to be carnivores. Food that we eat is responsible for shaping our thoughts. Non-vegetarian food is likely to cause more rajasic and tamasic thoughts. It is said that the thoughts in the mind of the person cooking food can affect the thoughts of the person eating that food subsequently. Then the state of being of the animal when it was being killed for meat must quite likely be affecting the thoughts of the person who consumes that meat. Moderation in eating and sleeping. It is wisely said that one should live to eat till about middle age and thereafter eat only to live. Until about the age of 35 years or so, one can be said to be young and may enjoy various foods and hence indulge in living to eat. Up to this stage, one is usually fairly active physically and possesses good health, so the excess eating may not cause much harm. However, as one becomes middle-aged, one should cut down on eating. Now one becomes less active physically and one's health starts weakening gradually. The more you eat beyond the age of 35 or 40, the more likely you are to have serious health problems like diabetes, heart disease, kidney ailments, etc. Of course, this is a purely physical view of the role of food in our life. Now, following is a spiritual view. Food is what makes our mind, and everything is in mind. The entire world and how the happenings in the world appear to us depends upon the state of our mind. So, a serious spiritual seeker is advised to be very careful about what he eats and how. Here are some points to remember in this regard. Eat only when you feel really hungry. In other words, let the body demand food rather than our mind driving us into eating. Eat only sattvic food, which is naturally sweetish, well cooked, warm, energy giving, soft and juicy, while avoiding rajasic, which is salty, spicy, sour, oily, and tamasic, which is stale, spoiled, tasted by someone else. Eat only as much quantity of food that will fill about 1/3 the capacity of your stomach. Another 1/3 space is for water, and the remaining 1/3 is to be kept empty for the gases that may be produced during digestion. Do not fall for food fads. Do not even take too seriously the so-called scientific facts about what is required in terms of vitamins and the different varieties of foods, etc. Remember, food is Parabrahma, that is the supreme singular origin of all physical creation, and there is no distinction between one food and another. So just keep it simple and sattvic. One of the revered gurus of our sampradaya used to have only one daily meal of khichdi made from rice, dal, and some vegetable. Look at food as simply an ahuti, that is offering, into the yajna, that is fire ritual, that our life is, for the purpose of the Creator. In other words, food is not for satisfying our tongue, that is sense of taste. It is simply for some energy to sustain the body, and the Creator will sustain us as long as He wants. One of the great gurus of our sampradaya used to collect alms of prepared food in a piece of cloth, then wash it in water so as to remove all taste from the food, and then eat it. Work gradually towards having only one meal, say lunch, and avoiding dinner. This helps the seeker to wake up early at the Brahma Muhurta, that is early hour of dawn, for sadhana, that is meditation. Eating excess food causes one to become sleepy and lethargic, which is not conducive to meditation. Besides, the best time for meditation is said to be the early dawn, say around 4 o'clock. But if the seeker is eating excess food or rajasic or tamasic food, he will find it extremely difficult to get up early. A reasonably light stomach enables the seeker to get up early. Hence, a sincere spiritual seeker is advised to consciously keep his diet at a modest level. Most spiritual gurus and even advanced seekers are known to be taking only one meal in a day and avoiding food at night. Of course, an important thing to bear in mind is that the foregoing advice should be practiced gradually, suiting oneself, and not to be forced on oneself. Shri Krishna tells Arjun in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 16, that one who eats too much or too little cannot be a yogi. One who seeks to be a yogi in a serious spiritual pursuit should not be enslaved by his taste buds. Neither should he starve himself unnecessarily. He should not sleep too much, nor should he sleep too little. So essentially, a moderation and self-control in these two aspects is what is critical for spiritual pursuit. If he does not follow these, his body will not be in his control, and then he cannot practice being a yogi. If we observe ourselves, we will notice that most of the times we operate from our conditioned mind. If we like a particular eatable, we eat it anytime when it is on offer, even if we are not hungry. This is something that must be avoided if we want to be able to focus on spiritual contemplation and meditation. We humans are unique in that respect. An animal will never eat till it feels hungry. We should listen to our body rather than our mind when it comes to eating. We should eat only when we are truly hungry, and that too within reasonable limits. There is this smart quip regarding fasting. I fast between 2 meals. However, here is something on the similar lines, but more serious for spiritual seekers. There are many different ways in which people undertake fasts. Most of the fasts have some kind of a religious background. Some people fast on certain particular days of the week. Some fast on certain special days of the month or year. Some eat certain specific special foods on the fast day, and avoid the normal food. Some avoid all food and even water on the fasting day. Revered Sant Dnyaneshwar Maharaj says that starving is a kind of violence against our pranas, that is life energy. He advises spiritual seekers to follow moderation in everything, especially food and sleep, not too much nor too little. On that basis, I feel we should fast from one moderate meal till we again feel reasonably hungry. Don't starve yourself when you are feeling hungry. However, do not overeat. Eat only as much as is enough to satisfy your hunger. Similarly, sleeping too much can make you feel lethargic. Not sleeping enough also will make you feel tired and irritated, which is not conducive to meditation. So, moderation in daily routine is the key to effective spiritual pursuit. I will stop here today. Until I see you the next time, take care. Bye.